Hi children, I hope you all are fine. Okay, today we are back with our science lesson, that is 15. Lesson 15, air around us. Okay, in the last lesson, that means in the chapter 7, we have already studied about the importance of air, and air we need to breathe. Okay, we need air to breathe. All the living organisms are using air for breathing. Have you seen air anytime? No. Can you see the air? No, we can't see the air, but we can feel the presence of air. Okay, suppose now with this paper, when I blow, when I move this paper like this, I can experience the presence of air, but I can't see the air. Is there any color for air? No, there is no color. Is there any odor? Odor means smell. Is there any smell for the air? No. Air is a colorless and odorless gas. Odorless. Okay, air is colorless and odorless. We cannot see the air, but we can experience it. Then how can you feel the presence of air? Whenever a slight wind blows, you can experience the presence of air. Or if you see the trees, the branches of the trees or the leaves of the trees, they are just rustling. Rustling means what? Just moving here and there. Okay. And from that slight movement of the leaves, we are able to experience that surrounding as air. Again, suppose if you are keeping your clothes, washed clothes in a stick or somewhere, if you hang it, or if in a stand, if you are hanging our clothes, you can experience that the clothes may move to and fro. Okay. From the movement of these clothes in to and fro direction, you will be able to see air is there. Okay, so the moving air we can call it as wind, we can say. What is wind? The moving air is known as wind. And how can you experience it? By seeing the rustling of leaves, by seeing the swaying of our clothes. What is sway means? Swaying means the hanged clothes will move in a to and fro direction. That is known as swaying, we will say. Okay, so from all this we are experiencing that air is around us. And if you close our nose and mouth tightly for some time, okay, if our mouth and nose, if you close tightly for some time, we feel some sort of suffocation. That means it shows that we need air to breathe. If you want to grow, if you want to survive, we need to have sufficient amount of air to breathe. And which gas present in the air is helpful for us to breathe? For breathing, which gas we are using? We are using oxygen. Okay, oxygen is the gas which is helpful for us to breathe. And again, in the agriculture also we are depending on air for winnowing. We studied about winnowing. Winnowing means what? Separation of husk from the grain. And we are holding the wheat grain or rice grain against the sunlight or against the wind. Then when we keep it against the wind and when we leave it, no, you can observe because of the force of the wind, it will remove all the husk and dust particles from the wheat, that you can observe it. Okay, so for the process of winnowing, we need to have sufficient amount of air. And in order to play a kite, you all are playing kite, okay, playing with the kites. For playing with the kite, we need to have air. And in order to rotate a firki, what is by firki? Actually, it is katadi. Okay, in order to play with the firki, you need to have air around you. Okay, these all are the things where we require enough amount of air. The most important activity we need to have air, that is for breathing. Without air we cannot survive. And in air, which gas is helpful for us to breathe? That is oxygen. So what is the chemical formula of oxygen? O2. Two atoms of oxygen combine together to form oxygen molecule. That oxygen is necessary for us to breathe. Okay children, now let us do an activity in order to show that air occupies space. Okay, air needs some space to occupy. If you see an empty bottle, you can find the bottle is empty, but it consists of something. So what is that something? That is air. In your pocket, air is there. In your digestive system, air is there. In your mouth, air is there. So air you can find everywhere. Okay, everywhere in our surrounding we can find air. Whenever you see a bottle, you feel that it is empty, but it is not actually empty. It contains air. So we can prove it by doing an experiment. In that experiment, what you have to do is you need to take a bucket full of water or any container full of water. Then you take an empty bottle, okay, and try to immerse and open the lid of the bottle. Then try to immerse or try to dip the empty bottle straight inside the water. Okay, straight inside the water. You try to dip that bottle inside, and you can experience that that bottle will not be able to go inside because it contains air. Okay, it is filled with air. You feel that bottle is empty, but it consists of air, so that water also will not go inside the bottle because bottle contains air. So first what you have to do, you need to take the bottle and remove the lid of the bottle and try to dip that bottle straight downward inside the water. Then water will not enter inside the bottle, and moreover you will feel little bit pressure also. Then the second case, you take the same bottle and slightly tilt the bottle and try to dip it inside. Then you can see air bubbles keep coming outside. Okay, air bubbles comes out, at the same time water goes inside the bottle, and whatever the area where the oxygen or where the air moves out, to that area water rushes into the bottle. Okay, so when it is dipped straight downward, because of the air exerts downward pressure, water was not entering inside. But when we slightly tilt the bottle inside the water, the air present in a particular area will escape outside, and it comes outside as air bubbles. And where the air is removed, to that particular area water moves inward, then water enters inside the bottle. And when the water completely enters, until the complete entry of water inside the bottle, you can observe air bubbles are coming outside. That means the bottle which contains air, and that air occupies a space present inside the bottle. But when that air space is occupied by water, what happens? The air which was present inside the bottle completely escape outside. Okay, we can say, in other ways we can say, the space occupied by air is displaced by water. In the place of air, water already entered, or it displaced by water. So the air comes out, water enters inside. That is the experiment. It shows that air occupies space. Okay, air occupies space. This is the example. And in some other, in 6th standard, 5th standard, you studied an experiment in that balloons were filled with air, and it was kept in a stick. Then suddenly one of the balloon we have broken. Then what happened? To the other side, that balloon, the balloon which has air, that was moved downward. That shows that air has weight. So like that, there are so many experiments are there in order to show that air has weight, air occupies space, air exerts pressure, air exerts downward pressure, air exerts upward pressure. All these are the properties of air. And air is a colorless, odorless gas. At the same time, we can say air is a mixture of several gases. Air is not a substance, but it is a mixture of several gases. Okay, our earth is also surrounded by a thin layer of air. Okay, a thin layer of air is there in our surrounding, and that area where air is available, that is known as our atmosphere. Okay, a layer of air extends up to certain kilometers. Okay, up to certain, not thin layer, up to certain kilometers air is available on the surface of the earth, and that area is known as our atmosphere. And this atmosphere, within this atmosphere we are able to breathe, and if we are going out of this atmosphere, we have to struggle for breathing because there enough amount of air will not be there. Okay, and I told you air is not a substance, but it is a mixture of several gases. Okay, the major component of air is nitrogen. The major component of air is nitrogen. Around 71% of nitrogen is available in our air. And the next higher percentage gas, that is oxygen. Oxygen is of 21% in the atmospheric air. Okay, atmospheric air contains 21% of oxygen. So now what is the total amount? 78% of nitrogen plus 21% of oxygen is equal to 99. Then out of 100, 1% is remaining, and the remaining 1% contains carbon dioxide and some other gases, water vapor, etc. Okay, the remaining 1% contains water vapor, carbon dioxide, argon, helium, hydrogen, etc. All some other gases comprises 1%, including water vapor and carbon dioxide. And the major content, that is nitrogen. Nitrogen is very essential for the growth of the plants. So for the whole plants, nitrogen is very essential. So the percentage of nitrogen is more in the atmosphere. Okay, and oxygen is 21%. It is useful for us to breathe on land. And whereas some animals are living in water, how they will breathe, that we are going to see in the next session. Okay, children, we have discussed that air is a component, air is a compound, that means it is a mixture, it contains different types of gases are there. Okay, already we have discussed, that is oxygen, nitrogen, then carbon dioxide, smoke, dust particles, water vapor, helium, argon, etc. etc. Okay, there is a mixture of several gases. Now first of all we will study about oxygen. Oxygen is very essential for us to breathe, and it is very essential for animals to breathe. Animals, birds, all the living things, they require air to breathe. And in air means, air consists of, I told you, so many gases are there. In this, which gas is helpful for us to breathe? That is oxygen. What is the molecular formula of oxygen? That is O2. Two oxygen atoms combine together and they are forming oxygen molecule. Oxygen is an element. Okay, oxygen is an element. What is an element? If any substance is made up of only one type of atom, then it is known as an element. Okay, and what is the percentage of oxygen in the atmosphere? That is 21% of oxygen is available in the atmosphere. Okay, it is necessary for us to do the process of respiration. At the same time, it supports burning. It supports burning. Oxygen supports burning. So for experimenting, in order to understand it experimentally, we can do an experiment. For that, what you have to do means, you need to take two candles, and this candle should be placed on a table. Lighted candle. Two lighted candle should be placed on a table, and one of the candle should be covered by using a transparent glass tumbler. Okay, you have to take two candles, and these both the candles should be lighted and it should be sticked to a table, and one of the candle should be covered by using a transparent glass, and you just observe it. When you observe it after 2-3 minutes, you can see for 1 or 2 seconds to 1 or 2 minutes it keeps glowing. Then after some time you can find the candle which is covered with the transparent glass, that undergoes it, or it will put off. Okay, it will stop glowing, whereas the candle which is uncovered continues to glow, it continues to burn. Okay, what happened to the another candle which we have already covered with the glass tumbler? It was containing, it was trapped, that glass trapped some amount of air, and that air was containing oxygen. That oxygen helped the candle to burn for some time, but after some time, when the availability of oxygen, whatever the oxygen available in that glass tumbler, that was used for burning the candle for some time. When that oxygen is exhausted completely, when the availability of oxygen is no more in the glass tumbler, what happens? That candle stops burning. Whereas on the other side we saw one more candle which was not covered. There it was getting a continuous supply of oxygen, so it was continuously burning. Understood the difference? Inside the glass tumbler, oxygen was not available. How much available? That much time it was burning or glowing. Whereas outside the candle, outside the glass tumbler, there was a candle. It was keep continuously glowing because there is a continuous supply of oxygen from the air. So it keeps continuously glowing or burning. Whereas inside the glass tumbler, it stops burning. So that is the difference. So from this experiment, we can understand that oxygen is a supporter of burning. Okay, oxygen is oxygen itself, it will not catch fire. Okay, oxygen gas will not burn, but it is a supporter of burning. So that you can understand from this experiment. Okay, children, the another component of the mixture of air, that is water vapor. In the previous lesson, we have already studied about the presence of water vapor, and what will happen to the water vapor present in the atmosphere? It undergoes a process of condensation, and it will be converted into droplets of water in the surrounding. Okay, so that is the change happens for the water vapor in the atmosphere, and this water vapor only helps to increase the rain. Okay, increase the rate of rain. Water vapor is helpful. How the water vapor is formed in the atmosphere? Already we have studied in the last lesson. It is by means of evaporation of seawater. Evaporation of water from the all water bodies. It includes sea, ocean, a river, ponds, lakes, etc. And when we sweat, that water also undergoes evaporation, and it will be released into the surrounding. And if you wash the cloth, wet clothes, if you keep it in the sunlight, the water content present in that wet cloth will undergo evaporation, that will be released into the surrounding. Okay, so from all the water bodies, as a result of evaporation, water will be converted into water vapor and will be released into the surrounding air. And when we sweat, the water will be evaporated into the surrounding air. And when we wash the cloth and keep it outside for drying, that also undergoes evaporation. All this water disappears somewhere. Where this water all disappears? They all disappears in the form of water vapor into the surrounding air. And what happened to this surrounding air, water vapor present in the surrounding air? Whenever it undergoes cooling process, it come down in the form of rain. Okay, and it will be added to the water bodies. So, water vapor helps in the process of water cycle in nature. Water vapor present in the atmosphere helps in the water cycle of the nature. In order to help the water cycle to produce more and more water content, water vapor is helpful for. Okay. Another most important gas present in the atmosphere, that is nitrogen. Okay. Nitrogen is represented by a molecular formula, that is N2. Two atoms of nitrogen combined to form one nitrogen molecule. So what is the percentage of nitrogen in the atmosphere? 78% of nitrogen. Okay, what is the use of nitrogen? Nitrogen is very essential for the growth of the plants. For the preparation of protein by green plants, nitrogen is very essential. Plants are preparing protein by using nitrogen present in the atmosphere. You might have studied that some type of bacteria which is available in the root system of leguminous plants. What is leguminous plants? Like pulses. Okay, pulses variety. Pulses producing plants are known as leguminous plants or pea plants. In the root system of pea plants, there is a bacteria called Rhizobium bacteria. And this Rhizobium bacteria helpful for the plants to convert atmospheric nitrogen into nitrate. Atmospheric nitrogen into nitrate. Plants directly they cannot absorb nitrogen, so it should be converted into nitrate. And for the conversion of this nitrogen to nitrate, there is a bacteria present in the root system of pea plant, that is known as Rhizobium bacteria. So Rhizobium bacteria helps the pea plants to convert atmospheric nitrogen to solid nitrate. And whenever it is converted into nitrate form, they are able to absorb it and they are able to make their own proteins. Okay, proteinaceous food material, and that will be stored in different part of the plant body. Okay, in the form of pulses they are storing it. Okay, not only the pea plants, other plants are also absorbing nitrogen for their proper growth. Okay, now let us discuss about carbon dioxide. Okay, in a closed room, you might have experienced that you feel suffocation if you burn something. Okay, if you burn something inside a closed room, you may feel suffocation. That is because of the production of carbon dioxide. Atmosphere contains 0.04% of carbon dioxide. Okay, our atmospheric air contains 0.04% of carbon dioxide. And when we breathe in, the air contains 0.04% of carbon dioxide. It will enter in our lungs. But when we breathe out, our exhaled air consists of 4% of carbon dioxide is there. Okay, we are inhaling only 0.04% of carbon dioxide during inhalation. But when we exhale, our exhaled air contains 4% of carbon dioxide is there. That means there is an increase in the quantity of carbon dioxide. From where this carbon dioxide came? Actually from our tissues. Okay, as a result of cellular respiration, tissues are releasing carbon dioxide. That carbon dioxide come to our lungs. When we exhale, the excess amount of carbon dioxide present inside our body will go outside. So inhaled air will have less percentage of carbon dioxide, whereas exhaled air will have more amount of carbon dioxide is there. And this additional amount of carbon dioxide came from where? Actually that is present inside our body. It comes out during the time of exhalation. Okay. And plant and animals like us, we need oxygen to breathe. At the same time, plants also need oxygen to breathe. For breathing, plants, animals and human beings, we all are depending on oxygen. Then after breathing, when we breathe in oxygen, we are releasing outside, exhalation time we are releasing outside carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide will be released outside. Okay, carbon dioxide is a waste material for us, so we have to excrete it outside. Whereas carbon dioxide is useful for the plants to do the process of photosynthesis. We are using oxygen only for breathing. Plants and animals are also using oxygen for breathing. Whereas carbon dioxide which is released by us, plants and animals are available in the surrounding, and those carbon dioxide again reabsorbed by plants for the process of photosynthesis. Okay. So plants are releasing outside oxygen during the time of photosynthesis. Plants are releasing outside carbon dioxide during the time of respiration. Plants leave out more amount of oxygen, but some amount of oxygen will be used by the plants again for the process of respiration. And we, plants and animals, as a result of respiration, releasing out more amount of carbon dioxide, and these carbon dioxide again reabsorbed by green plants for the process of photosynthesis. In this way, the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide is maintained in the atmosphere. The plants are also needed, plant or animal matter. If you want to burn, they need oxygen for supporting the burning purpose. Okay, in order to breathe, we need to have oxygen. At the same time, for combustion or for burning anything, we need to have sufficient amount of oxygen. If oxygen is not there, burning will not take place properly. So we can say oxygen is a supporter of burning, we can say. Okay, how the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide is maintained in the atmosphere? All the organisms, all the living organisms require oxygen for breathing. As a result of breathing, we are leaving outside carbon dioxide, and this carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere, if it is more, it will be problem for all of us. So the carbon dioxide should be absorbed by green plants. Why green plants are absorbing carbon dioxide? Green plants are absorbing carbon dioxide for the process of photosynthesis. So what is the use of photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is helpful for the preparation of food materials by green plants. After preparation of food material by green plants, they are storing that food material in their different part of the plant. Sometimes plants are storing the food material in the form of seeds like rice, wheat, etc. They are storing the food material in the form of seeds. And sometimes plants are storing the food material in the form of fruits like apple, banana, orange, all these are example for fruit. Again, sometimes they are storing the food materials in their stem. For example, in sugarcane, you can see they will have the food material which is stored in their stem, that sugarcane juice which we are using. So the food is used in their stored in their stem. Sometimes they are storing the food material in their leaves like spinach, cabbage, etc. They are storing the food material in their leaves. So like that, in different part of the plant body, they are storing the prepared food material. So for the preparation of food material, they need which gas, or for the process of photosynthesis, they need which gas? They need carbon dioxide. And for breathing purpose, which gas we need? That is oxygen. So what is the percentage of oxygen in the atmosphere? 21%. What is the percentage of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere? That is 0.04 percentage of carbon dioxide is present in the atmosphere. Which gas is supporting burning? Oxygen is supporting the process of burning. Okay. Which gas is not supporting burning? That is carbon dioxide. Whenever we burn something, smoke produces, and the smoke contains which gas? Carbon dioxide. Nowadays, that we all are having the habit of burning plastic. Plastic is an unwanted waste material which is accumulated in our surrounding day by day. So what we used to do, we may use it to burn it. So whenever we burn this plastic in our surrounding, it will release us highly poisonous gases like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, etc. It will be very harmful for us. So we should not burn anything in our surrounding because it leads to air pollution. Okay, now let us see another component of air, that is dust and smoke. Okay, our air contains dust and smoke also. You know that if you go to Delhi and all, you can find it will be one of the most polluted city in our country. Okay, one of the most polluted city. So there you can observe. And but recently, because of the lockdown and all, the vehicles, number of vehicles were restricted to move on the road. That's why Delhi recently they got a clear sky. Otherwise the sky they were not able to see in a clear manner because of the pollution, because of the smoke, because of the dust particles present in the atmosphere. So burning fuel, whenever we are burning fuel, whether it is a petrol or diesel, etc., even in our home, while we are cooking food material by using firewood, you can observe a lot of dust particle will be released in the surrounding. At the same time, we can observe smoke will be released in the surrounding. That's why we are having chimneys in our kitchen. We have chimneys. Nowadays, there is another smokeless fireplace is also there. You heard about that Aluva Adupu. Have you heard about it? So smokeless kitchen are also there nowadays. There the smoke will not come inside the room. Okay, the smoke will be sent to a particular pipeline, and through the pipeline the smoke will go outside. But sometimes when we are using firewood in our home also, you can find smoke will be released, and the smoke may come inside our home. At the same time, it will house a lot of dust particle, carbon particle, soot particles, etc. will be available. Okay, so how can we know that this air contains dust particles? Especially in winter season and all, you can observe, if you see the outer surface of the glass, it looks hazy. H-A-Z-Y. Hazy means what? Because of the presence of the dust particle, that glass will become a diminished appearance. Okay, glass will become dim. That normal transparency will not be there because of the dust particles keep settled on the glass. It looks hazy. It looks diminished appearance. That's so. In such case, what you have to do? You need to wipe the glass in order to make it more transparent or more clear. We have to wipe it so that it will allow the light to come inside in a proper way. Otherwise it looks very hazy. That is because of the deposition of dust particles on it. And especially those whose house is nearby the main road and all, you can experience that a lot of dust particles keep coming inside our home. Okay, you are experiencing it. And we can also observe that it is harmful for the birds who is flying. In factories and industries, you can find very long chimneys will be there in order to send the smoke and dust particles outside. In factories, they are keeping very long chimneys are there. Okay, even brick industries and some other industries, they are having very long chimneys, fertilizer industries and all. Through these long chimneys, the dust particles and smoke will be released up to certain height in the atmosphere. But it is useful for us because the dust and smoke is moving far away from our surrounding. But at the same time, some birds which are moving, which are flying in those regions, they will be affected. Their population will be decreased. Okay, because they are happened to breathe that air containing dust particles and smoke. So it is harmful for those birds who are flying in those heights. But it is useful for us because it is going away from the surface level of the earth.